In 2023, black men have more dating options than ever before. Now, for you guys who grew up in the 90s like me, most of us dated in the communities that we lived, and those communities were black, and you didn't even feel comfortable dating on the other side of town because you might get beat up, right? But in today's world, interracial marriages and interracial relationships are very common, even in states like Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Arkansas, where before stuff like that didn't happen, but it happens now. And black men, they have their points about why things are not working out with black women. So where do they go? White women. Why is that? White women represent one of the top 2 populations in America, and many white women may not get married or proposed to by a white man. And one of the reasons is because white men are the most sought after men in the country. So they go after Asian women, Latino women, even black women, and that could leave some white women behind. But we want to know, when black men go over to white women, what do white women think about that situation? Now, to be honest, many white women, if they have bad experiences with black men, will not come out and publicize it. One of the reasons why they don't want to come out and publicize it is because it looks like, number one, it's racist. And if it doesn't work out, then they'll be castigated by their own community by telling, haha, I could have told you that. But there is one TikToker who is coming out with some information that some of us could have speculated, but didn't know. And shout out to Brother Jack Smith for sending this to me. And you see this particular lady by the name of Creole Italian. I want to basically play this video of her and her experience with other white women that have black kids. And she has 2 black children, or mixed children. I want you guys to hear this mind-boggling and mind-blowing information, and then we'll assess it.
It is literally because of stuff like this that I don't with other white women that have mixed kids. Now, before we get into the whole moral high ground thing, let's make 2 things clear. Number 1, I was raised in a POC family, POC community. I was raised with entirely different values, and I was raised around people that were darker than me. So it was not fetishization, it was literally just environmental. Number 2, every single interaction that I have had with white women with biracial kids has been disgusting. About a year and a half ago, I met a woman out here, and I was really excited to meet another white woman that had mixed kids. To be fair, she had 1, exactly. She was married to a white man, they had like 3 white kids on top of that. But I was like, cool, I don't have any friends out here. Let me try to make a friend. She seems all right, and we have something in common. Now, within the first 2 conversations that we had on Facebook Messenger, this woman told me how she is certain that all black men are deadbeat dads because she chose an ain't shit baby daddy because she fetishized a black dude one time when she was 17, 18 years old and made a mixed kid that represented the whole. Now, on top of this, she did not allow her mixed kid to have any contact with their black family. And she was super MAGA trumped out and was always posting the cringiest, most racist specifically towards black people. She would be saying outrageous about like the phrase black is beautiful and I can't say white is beautiful, that would be a problem, blah blah blah, telling me how she did not teach her daughter to think of herself as any differently than her white siblings, that she was not going to teach her kid about racism or anything like that. She never did her kid's hair. I mean, I could just go on and on. And then I've dated a few biracial dudes with white moms, and I can just add to the list of all of the racial trauma of growing up with a white mother. And while I'm grateful that my kid is going to have an outlier experience from that, I understand that that's not the norm. The majority of white women are not raised around a lot of people of color or by people of color. But the men that are letting this happen need to be having a very hard look at the type of women that they're procreating with. There are too many biracial kids coming out talking about their experiences with their white mothers and how it was. Y'all gotta stop treating mixed kids like trophies. They are human beings. They don't deserve to be the product of fetishization. They don't deserve to have to deal with your racist ass family. The end.
So here's something that we really don't think about, right? We don't really think about this. And one of the reasons why we don't think about it as black men is because we're just trying to get away from what we see as our community. We have a lot of tumultuous experience dealing with, people in our community. So we figure out like, hey, let's go over and deal with somebody else. Not knowing that if there's a bad experience that comes to the situation, how is the child going to be raised? And that child, which is mixed, is going to have a white mother. And now some white women go back and marry white men, and then they raise their children who are white not to even be black. Like, look at Meghan Markle. She was never raised with the black experience. Some of these women don't know how to even do their children's hair. And the kids suffer because they don't identify with their black part of the family. Many times they are, or in some cases rather, barred from seeing the black part of their family. And let's say, for example, if you have a black child with a black woman and, things don't work out, at least your child will realize who they are. But what happens if you get a woman pregnant from another community and that person doesn't, realize who they are, and then they're talking about your community, although they have a baby by that particular community? It's something that black men don't look at. And as it appears, there are so many white women with black kids who appear to be disgruntled and talking bad about black men in the same way that black women are talking bad about black men. Now, is this to say that all black men are bad? No, because these white women could have picked, some bad mates. But it does show that some of the issues that black men are having with black women are being discussed with white women who have had babies by black men. But something is very interesting. This woman who does a great job of explaining that, hey, not all black men are bad, which I definitely agree. She even talks about how she's teaching her children to be pro-black. I want to play this clip and then I'm going to come back and talk about it.
I'm sure people wonder, with me talking as much as I do on systemic racism, misogynoir, white women with biracial kids, what, pro-blackness looks like in my home. And it's pretty simple. I don't buy my child white dolls. She has 2 white Barbies and both of them were gifted to her. All of her Disney princesses were gifted to her. Because if I'm going to spend my limited money, I'm going to buy her dolls with dark skin and textured hair and things that are going to make her have a positive view of blackness, regardless of if she has a black parent present in the home. And through all of these black dolls, I have been able to see those little smidges of anti-blackness that come up every once in a while and root them out in a way that is both age appropriate and comfortable for her. Because let's be real, kids and she goes to an after school program and sometimes she comes home saying some that I know she did not get from my house. And getting to use pretend play is a great way for those issues to not hang around in our household. My son also plays dolls with her, so my son is also getting a positive view of blackness and getting a lot of exposure that most little white boys don't get. And I'm so happy that he does. My daughter has an $80 black baby doll that sleeps with her every single night. She will not sleep without that baby. That baby goes everywhere with her. She threw a birthday party for her today. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud to say my daughter has so much positive representation of blackness, of black women around her. And actually, when I was shooting her Barbie dolls, telling her I wanted to see all of her Barbies, she said, "Don't even put the white Barbies up there. I just want to show how pretty my black Barbies are." Like, really? You love them that much? I'ma cry. This is what multiracial parenting looks like, and it's what teaching any child to love blackness looks like, and it's so rewarding.
So I want to talk about this if I can. Here you have a woman that's not from our community that's teaching both of her kids, and it could have been a bad situation with the baby's father, I don't know. But she's teaching her children to appreciate the fact that they are black. And she even says, hey, you know, my kid, when they go to school, that's the greatest part. She comes home with some anti-black rhetoric, and I know she didn't get it from our house. So if that's happening with these kids, what is the subjugation in the mind or the brainwashing in the mind, even for black kids who go to the school system or go to the outside world, and you're taught to be anti-black? But you have a white woman who is realizing that and pushing her children towards the black community, even if she may not herself understand how it works. But now we have people in our own community who don't even appreciate our own community. And not everybody is going to attempt to do this. You know, I know some white women who have black children, and then they really learn how to do black hair and things like that. But this just goes to show that as black people, you know, we don't have a whole lot of respect for our community. And it shows because these people, once they have a bad experience with a black person, they immediately want to, not all the time, but cut them off so they don't even know who they are. And this is for a lot of black men who are trying to run over to these other communities of women and have these children. And you might be dealing with a situation where your kid may be taught to hate black people. I'm not saying that it can happen, but you know, I think a lot of brothers need to go ahead and really rectify that. If you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, I get it, but make sure you understand what you're getting into, because if this is what she's saying is true, which I could believe it, a lot of black men might want to, you know, think about who they're trying to be with and why. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm out.